everybody. In today's video, we are going to make a very colorful kitty card with one of my favorite MISTI techniques, which is on stamp ink blending. I love this about the MISTI. This is one of the very first videos that I made with the MISTI. And what you want to do is find yourself a solid image like these kitties. And you can do this a couple ways. I've done this different ways. I've done it directly with the ink pad. I've done it with cosmetic sponges, but it also works with your blender brushes. So the first thing I'll do is I'll stamp this kitty, and you might recognize this kitty. This kitty is actually a Halloween kitty, but it doesn't have to be a Halloween card. It's such a cute image, has like a little Art Deco feel to it. And it makes a wonderful birthday card, which is what I'm going to be making today. So I am using some yellow ink for the base image and then a tangerine ink to apply just a little bit of shading to the stamp. And like I said, you can do this with any tool that you have. You can even do it with your fingers, which I have done. So it's a very easy trick for just making the color in your images a little bit more interesting, as if anything could be more interesting than a cat, which it clearly can't. So anyway, you will find this very fun. So what I wanted to do was do a couple of different really bright, really happy color combos for this cat. Whenever I have a stamp set that's for a particular occasion, I always look at it with a view to using it outside of the season of that stamp. And this set actually has several images in it that can be used throughout the entire year. So take a look at this stamp set for other potential uses that you might have. So I'm going to work around the color on this one. I'm going to use a very bright blue for this little kitty. I'm trying to sort of position some complementary-ish colors around the center yellow kitty, which is going to be where I'm going to put my greeting. So I want that yellow kitty to be the focal point, as well as it just being in the center. So I'm just trying to make sure there's enough contrast between the kitty and the colors around the kitty, and that it doesn't look too regular, because, you know, it's hard to really truly be random as a stamper. Now on the blue kitty, I am going to use a purple shade to shade the bottom of the kitty. This is about the same color value, tonal value as the first color, so it's going to be pretty subtle, and I think you're really going to like it. You could go darker, of course, if you wanted to. You could do a dark navy. I like the little bit of violet that this adds to the kitty, and I think it is a nice subtle kind of ombre look. So I will just blend this up. I try to get a little bit on the tail, and you can go farther up on some kitties and not quite as far up on some kitties. So it just depends on what you want the look to be. And the great thing about it being in the corner of the MISTI is you can do this as many times as you want and make it as dark as you want. So with this blue, since it's a little bit darker blue, I'm going to do a few more layers than I will on some of the lighter colors. So now I'm going to stamp kind of a magenta kitty, top right, again, kind of looking for contrast. So far I have like my holy trinity of colors. I have blue, yellow, and magenta, and that always makes for a pleasing mix. So that only leaves me a couple possibilities for the two kitties on the bottom. Green and purple are both good complementaries to each other, and then yellow and purple are also good complementaries, so I think that's what I will choose. Now you will want to clean your stamps really well in between colors, and I'm going to show you what I mean in just a second. So on the kitty, I'm going to go ahead and add purple, just the same purple, so I don't even have to switch brushes. And I will just shade this little kitty, and it turns into kind of a wine color on the bottom, which I really like a really deep, violet-y sort of burgundy. So now I'm cleaning this stamp, and you'll see that it's stained, right? But unbeknownst to me, it's also not completely clean. So really get your cleaner after it, especially with reds, because you guys know how red pigments can be they're finicky. They are the divas of our inks. And it turns out that I didn't have this one cleaned all the way off. So, bonus, we're going to get a custom color, a custom ink color with what is left on your stamps. And I say all that to say that you absolutely can get more out of your inks by blending them this way, whether it's by accident or it's on purpose. So I'm actually using a bright lime green here, but you'll see when I stamp it that it comes out olive because there's that little bit of pink on the stamp. And I actually really love the color. So it's a different color than what I intended, but it's really cute. And it looks great on the card. So at first I was going to do just a darker kind of warm green, but then I decided I would do this tranquil teal and add just a little bit of blue, and that'll tie it to the cat up on the top left and just give a little bit of contrast between warm and cool colors on the same kitty. So that's kind of fun. So I'll add just a little bit of teal. This is a pretty dark color, so I don't really need to do that too many times to get a really beautiful little gradation on Olive Kitty. If this was a real kitty, we'd have to name her Olive. And then finally, I will do the purple. I wanted to contrast with both the green and the yellow, and purple is perfect for that. So I'm doing an orchid color for the first layer. This is a really bright, happy purple. And then I'll use that same deep violet. So I actually saved a couple of brushes because I'm using purple to shade 3 of these kitties. So I don't have to, that's one less brush to clean. My bathroom is full of brushes right now, just full. I kind of go for a few days and then clean them all and then go for a few days. So this will be a really nice, subtle blend on this little kitty. Very, very pretty. And see, this doesn't look like a Halloween card at all. I just love how you can transform any stamp with color. So a couple more times of that one. Again, the intensity of the ink color that you use is going to determine how many times you're going to want to stamp that on top of your image just to get whatever you want. And you can shade other parts as well. This is a nice, easy blend. Again, those little cheap cosmetic sponges do a great job with this as well. And then in this open space, I'm going to put this sentiment with all the little kitties arranged around it. So here is the finished card. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching.